It's like a space planetarium VR game I stumbled across. I got it like 2 days ago, but it's my first time actually booting it up because I played Werewolves last night. But already it's interesting. I didn't. Apparently, some faction of Sega worked on it. But it wasn't normal Sega. It was like Sega Toys, a company called Sega Toys. It seems like some kind of offshoot of, the video game company Sega. So they seem to have had a hand in this. You can speak Nihongo ga or Eigo ga. Nihongo. Eigo. But if you say the sentence, you add the ga. Eigo ga. Nihongo ga. But yes. See, you can tell that that's Japanese. That little square is supposed to be like the mouth open. Yeah. It's cool. That's the number 5. That thing that looks like an upside down 4. It's referring to your senses. That's what's cool about kanji. You can deduce what it means just by figuring out what the pictures represent, or the characters, the radicals. That's supposed to be a sun, see? It originally was drawn with a rectangle with the sun rays all around it. But it was so common of a character that they decided to convert the rays into this line. This line's supposed to represent the sun rays. Because it was just, for as much as it gets written, too time consuming. This is Earth. This is like root or origin, sun, origin, land of the rising sun. Japanese is a very interesting language, especially the written form. Alright, sorry, sidetracked. For some odd reason, I can't list the game as being Homestar. I had to call it something else because Twitch wouldn't recognize the game. And fucking hell, I'm getting fog. One moment. My visor's fogging up a bit. I have to point the fan at me. Might have to turn on the AC. I don't know much about this game, except it's very like space heavy kind of thing. So far it looks nice, it looks very detailed, like sometimes you get games like this and like the video or whatever looks kind of crunchy or low res. And this looks pretty good. Let's start it. See what I get. I think it was like $11. See what $11 gets you. Stare at the sky, celestial plane. It's world sky time travel. Let's check out that. See what this is about. You can set positions without. Okay. Oh. And what does this do? Oh, do I go here? Then I. What does? Oh. Oh, so you're like looking at the sky as if you were here. Scorpius? Lupus? What's that? No, it's not listed. Can I like look around or something? Sextants. Ooh. West, south. Okay, east. Can I move or go closer to this? Oh, Jupiter. Let me see Jupiter. Oh. See if you can manipulate anything or change the camera angles or. I don't know. Saturn, Sagittarius, Scorpius. Oh, where's Orion? I saw Orion, I think, for a second. No, that's not it. Looks like you can't manually turn. Looks like if I want to look around, I gotta actually get up, stand, turn around. I guess that works. This isn't like it uses motion tracking, so it's not that big of an issue turning away from the camera. Do hope there's a little more to this than this, because it's not that impressive looking. Honestly, I would still say Megatron Rainfall gives this way more run for its money, because you actually traverse space in Megatron Rainfall. It's not bad. Hopefully we get a little bit more out of this game. Tashkent Zabinskent. I don't know what the fuck that means. Close back. Sure. Let's do Antarctica. I wish you could see the environment you're on. It'd be nice if I went to Antarctica and I can see the Arctic shimmers. I can't remember what you call it. No. I guess I see the correct constellation. So see, there's Orion. There's his belt. The 3 ones at his waist is considered his belt. Those 3 stars. They don't. I wonder why they didn't label it though. Arctic. Huh. So, this mode isn't that impressive, honestly. I have plenty of space books to point out console. Oh, that was a shooting star. That was kind of cool. I wonder if I can... Where's the moon? That'd be cool if I could go to the moon. Oh well. VR Planetarium. Let's check out that. I'm pretty sure that's like the main attraction. You know, I want to check out this first, because I think this is like the main attraction, and these are like little side things. So let's get the side things out the way. Easter Island. Let's go with Easter Island. If this game is nice and chill, this would be a nice get high and play game. The ground's very low res. So, just stare up at the sky. Thing is, if I go outside, I can look at the actual sky, you know? If I could move around, maybe go closer, ascend the planet a little bit, that's something I can't actually do in real life. This isn't actually like an accurate representation of the area. It's like low res ground. It just looks like a blur of gray and black. See, I wish I could move and like go closer to those things and look at them up close. Oh shit. Easter Island. Cool, Chile. I gotta unlock stuff. How do you do that? Let's try this. Hopefully the environments look... Okay, this is nice. Yeah, this is a nice one. Nice lake right there, good reflections. I do expect the game to be better graphically, because there's not that much going on, you know? You figure they'd have more resources for a game like this to get the graphics like super realistic looking. But they still look pretty good. It's just the ground on certain areas looks kind of bad. Boring. Oh. Looks like a face in that mountain. It's kind of creepy. It's pretty. No, it's very pretty. Stars are kind of colorful. I do live kind of in the city, so you don't really get like a good view of the stars. On a good clear night, maybe. Sometimes the power goes out, you can see stars, but... Ooh, shooting star. You have to drive out a bit to get a good view of stars. But it does look nice. It's been a while since I've seen a nice starry sky. In real life, anyway. Back. Alright, let's get to the main attraction, the Planetarium. That's like the... Ooh. Oh, okay. Any, mini, money, fuck it. Alright.
In this VR Celestial Tour, I will show you the spring constellations. I like looking up at the sky and wondering when the cold weather will be at an end. Like the warmth of spring,
I love winter.
the stars sparkle gently.
I love cold weather.
Let's take a walk out in the starry sky.
Sounds good.
This is the first constellation I want to talk to you about.
Virgo.
This is Virgo, in the form of a beautiful woman. She is said to be a form of Demeter, the
Whoever
goddess
came up with
of
that had an
agriculture.
active imagination.
When you see Demeter, it is said that it is time to harvest the crops.
Damn.
But
You gotta
when
really
you
lean
can't
back
see
in this
her,
game.
you should
Or
not be
app.
harvesting. When Demeter hides behind the Earth's surface, then it is winter. When spring comes, Virgo will appear and bestow upon us rich blessings. Let's look a little more north.
What the hell is...
Here you can see Ursa Major. Actually, Ursa Major is a nymph called
Do you realize
Callisto,
I'm supposed to be sitting?
who's turned into a great bear as
Rotate
punishment
this
for
bitch.
breaking an oath. Callisto hates living alone as a bear, but one day she meets her
gosh.
son Arcus while she is in her bear form.
Argus.
Arcus doesn't realize that the bear is his own mother and tries to kill her.
Oh.
Zeus witnesses this and brings
Jesus
Callisto
fucking Christ,
as a
this
bear
is like the worst
and
position to
Arcus
try to look at this
up
stuff.
into the heavens. Arcus is now the constellation Boötes, and he has reunited with his mother. They may be a bear and a human, but this mother and child seem very happy to be next to each other in the sky.
Cool.
However, the tail of Ursa Major is best known as the Big Dipper.
Yeah.
It is shaped like a ladle.
Uh-huh.
The
Always
bright
look for that.
star on the point
Big
of the
Dipper. It's easy
extension
to
of this
spot one.
constellation is also famous.
The North Star.
This is Polaris, or the North Star, and it is the most northerly star. Sailors in olden days would navigate by using this star.
Most people do know that.
The constellation with the North Star
The Little Dipper,
is
yeah.
Ursa Minor. In the myth of Callisto I told you before,
Sorry.
there is another version where Arcus becomes a bear
Make sure I don't back
and
up
was
into my
raised up
TV.
to heaven as Ursa Minor. I wonder which is really Arcus, Boötes or Ursa Minor?
Is that the Little Dipper?
It's fun to imagine it, right?
I don't remember if it's closed
There
in.
is a big curve connecting the tail of Ursa Major to Arcturus
Christ.
of Boötes and
I hate
Spica
looking dead up in VR
Virgo.
because my headset always slides a bit.
This
and my
is
visor
the spring
slides.
triangle.
You sure shit can't look
When
at
you
all this
connect
shit
it with
seated?
the myths, it's
Hi,
really
Mario.
spectacular. Libra is next to Virgo.
This is very nice.
As well as the goddess of agriculture, Virgo is actually also the goddess of justice. Estrella holds a scale when she is passing judgment,
they have it up in
which is what
courtrooms.
Libra shows.
Some courtrooms
It
have
is said
statues
that
of it.
she determines who goes to heaven or hell after death.
Aw.
It's a little bit scary to think that a simple scale will decide if you spend eternity in heaven or hell.
Well, we're getting all spiritual, aren't we?
This is Leo. This constellation is in the shape of a lion.
Yeah,
This
we all
lion
know
caused
that.
a lot of people trouble and was eventually killed by Hercules. After many days of battle,
Starring Kevin
Hercules
Sorbo.
ended up fighting the lion with his bare hands and finally defeated it by choking the lion. It was made a constellation to commemorate its strength, and now stands
Usually
proud
planetariums
in the
there's a little bit
sky
more motion
with his
happening.
great mane.
You know, stuff moves a bit more.
Hercules' stars are in many legends of old. Other victims of his heroism
Hydra.
are Hydra and
Hail
Cancer.
Hydra.
Hercules battled the sea serpent called Hydra. A crab, which was a close friend of Hydra, jumped out to try and save his friend. However,
Cut
the
one head
crab
off.
was easily crushed to death by Hercules. Both the Hydra and crab, once defeated by Hercules, were raised up into
Yes,
the
I'm a-
heavens
Ash
to
my
become
secret.
Hydra and Cancer. Hercules' strength must have been very impressive if he could defeat both of these monsters. With that, I will have to bring this spring VR celestial tour to a close.
Really? That was kind of short.
What is the weather like today? Sunny?
Summertime.
Cloudy?
Fucking
If you
summertime.
can, look up at the stars and see if you can see the stories they tell.
Well, I live in the
See you
city
soon.
with a lot of lights. It's really difficult to see stars where I live. Alright. They show this theater like you should be seated, but you really would have to stand up to see stuff. Oh, that's cool. You unlock things. Where's my controller? I set it down for a second. Should do summer since it's summer now. Yeah, let's do summer. For $10, this isn't too bad.
In this
It could be a
VR
little better.
celestial
I would have
tour,
rather paid more for
I will
something
show
a
you
bit
the
more
summer constellations.
immersive.
Hot summer days with a cool breeze at night. On these refreshing evenings, it's great to look
Fuck,
up
I
at
almost
the
hit the fucking
stars.
filter. That would have sucked.
Let's
Ugh.
take a walk out in the starry sky.
Do I literally have to walk?
Let's first visit the Summer Triangle.
Sure. Where is it?
Do you know where it is?
Nope.
That's right. This is the Summer Triangle. It is a big triangle which includes the three stars, Cygnus's Deneb, Lyra's Vega, and Aquila's Altair.
Altair. Huh.
Let's start our summer tour with this great triangle of the Milky Way.
Sure.
First up is Cygnus. The
Archer.
myths tell us that this is Zeus
Looks like a bow and arrow.
transformed into a white swan. He transformed himself into a swan so that he could seduce a beautiful woman, whispering words of love to her. Deneb is the brightest star in the constellation, and perhaps it represents a gem he gave to the woman. Lyra is the harp of Orpheus, the most accomplished musician. He wanted
is
to
one
use his
active
music
imagination
to
whoever came up with
return
that.
his dead wife to this world, and he had to meet Hades, the king of the underworld.
Of course.
But his wish did not come true, and Orpheus died of sorrow.
That's
The
not...
lyre lost
okay.
his master and was rescued by Zeus, who
It's like
placed
episode
it in the
3 where
heavens
Padme
as a
dies of a broken
constellation.
heart.
Vega is the brightest star in the
Who's Vega?
constellation of Lyra, but don't you think it shines very sadly? Aquila is the form
you
of
say
Zeus
so.
as he flies through the sky as a great eagle. Zeus flies above the ground in this form to watch over the world. The myth says that it was in this eagle form that Zeus brought Ganymede, the young boy of the constellation of Aquarius, to the land of the gods. Altair is the brightest star on the head of the eagle, which may be the sharp eagle's eye. Even now, Zeus could be watching us.
Probably not.
There
but
is also
sure.
a famous story told in summer in Japan. Tanabata is also known as the Star Festival. The
I
legend
did not
goes
know that.
that only once a year the weaving princess and the cowherder can cross a river and be reunited. In this tale, the weaving princess is Vega of the Lyra constellation, and the cowherder is Altair of the Aquila constellation. They exist on either side of the Milky Way. It is said that on Tanabata, or the 7th of July, they can cross the Milky Way. Don't you think it's a romantic and beautiful story? Let me tell you more about the small
Okay.
constellation next to Aquila.
There's no
This
Shakespeare, but...
is Delphinus. Its tail is round and small. Don't you think it's cute?
I like the story of the lion.
This dolphin
better
rescued
with
a
the mother.
famous musician who fell into the sea, and to commemorate its achievement, the dolphin was turned into a constellation. This is the constellation of Hercules.
Oh.
Hercules is the hero of Greek mythology.
Yeah, most people know him from
Hercules
Kevin
defeated
Sorbo.
a violent lion
Or the Disney
huge
movie.
monsters, overcoming great difficulties and becoming the subject of many legends. Among the spring constellations, there are a number which were killed by Hercules. As Hercules rises from the east, they disappear in the west.
Ah, so,
Sagittarius is a half-human and half-horse centaur, famous for being an archer.
yes.
The centaur was an excellent
They were on
teacher,
Hercules as well.
and
That's one good thing about
Hercules was one of
Hercules.
his
It was a silly
archery
show, but it
pupils.
did teach a little bit about Greek
The
mythology.
centaur lost his life to a poisoned arrow, but he was brought up to the sky and became Sagittarius.
These creatures were on the
Now,
show.
everyone remembers him when we look up into the sky. Scorpio is next to Sagittarius. I think many people will recall this constellation when asked about summer constellations. This scorpion is the one that stung Orion with its venomous tail.
Yeah, we haven't covered Orion
Even
and
now,
its belt.
Orion is afraid of the scorpion, and when Scorpio rises, Orion will escape to the west. Antares is the brightest star in Scorpio. Antares is a very big
It's
star.
nice to use VR for other
Its
things than
diameter
games.
is said to be 720 times that of the Sun, and it is 65,000 times brighter. It feels kind of scary that there is something so big up there, don't you think? The summer
not really.
constellation tour
Kinda
ends
cool.
here. What did you think? Did you have a favorite constellation? Next time you have a chance, look up at the sky.
I always like the
and
Dippers
think
and
of the
Orion and
legends.
its belt.
See you soon.
See you soon, person. I don't know, like, I've been to real planetariums at my local science museum. They usually, like, rotate the stuff. Like, when they want something to see it, they'll rotate the screen so it's in front of you. Because in a real planetarium, you're not expected to stand up and turn around. You want to look at everything while seated, facing forward. Here, it's like, you're supposed to be seated, but you really wouldn't see most of the stuff comfortably from a seated position. Oh, what's this? I didn't notice this. I was on this? No. I'll try this and do winter. Not winter. Yeah, winter. That's my favorite season. Winter. And I like fall a lot. She'll probably color at the winter solace. Oh, okay. It gets rid of the theater.
In this VR celestial tour, I will show you the winter constellations.
That's nice.
The cold air of winter is
really
crisp
nice.
and clean, and the stars look particularly beautiful, don't you think?
Oh, yes.
One of the features of the winter sky is the great number of bright stars.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a walk out in the starry sky.
Let's. See, in a real planetarium,
off
the shit
is
would zoom
Orion.
to whatever she's talking
Orion
about.
is a legendary hunter from Greek mythology.
Where?
This constellation is famous for the 3 stars
Where?
that make up his belt. Can you find Orion?
Yeah, give me a second. That's it.
right.
Yeah, right.
The
That's
stars
it.
that
You can-
spread
the
out
belt
in all
always
4
gives it away.
directions is Orion. Legend
Should
says
give someone a
that
minute to actually
Orion
find
was
it.
a great hunter. Even now,
Don't leave
he's
a lot
in
of
the
time.
middle of hunting rabbits. It is said that Canis Major is Orion's hunting dog. I bet he was a very brave and happy hound. Orion was a very brave hunter, but he seems to have been a little violent. The gods created a scorpion to kill Orion.
Fucking assholes. them
Orion
gods.
tried to stamp on the scorpion, but the
Got
scorpion stung Orion
Yeah.
and he died. Even as constellations, when Scorpio appears in the sky, Orion will hide behind the Earth's surface to escape him. I guess he learned his lesson. Another hunting dog appears in the winter sky. Here it is, Canis Minor. This little dog is the hound of the famous hunter Actaeon, and one day he went out with his master and the other dogs on a hunt. However, Actaeon unfortunately enraged a goddess who turned him into a deer, who was then chased by his own dogs.
Oh, I was about
The
to say,
hounds
deer's kind of an
killed
upgrade.
Actaeon. Only one of the dogs waited for Actaeon, and this hound was eventually lifted up into the heavens as a constellation. The star of Orion's right shoulder, Betelgeuse, with Sirius of Canis
Betelgeuse?
Major and Procyon of Canis Minor. Connecting these 3 stars forms the famous Winter Triangle. This beautiful triangle can be seen in the winter sky. It should be pretty easy
Oh shit, set up my controller. Try to sit back
to
down.
spot. Taurus is slightly
Taurus.
above Orion. Taurus has large horns,
as long as 4
and
didn't
on
make
its
it.
shoulders is the famous Pleiades star cluster. The stars glittering together like that is really fantastic. I could stare at it forever. Taurus is a form of the omnipotent Zeus, according to the mythology. Zeus fell in love with a human woman called Europa and transformed into a bull so he could get close to her. He carried Europa across the sea. Later, he showed her his true form, and they got married. Zeus must have given Europa a real surprise. By the way, the continent which Zeus took her to is named after her, Europe. Let's look at the tip of one of Taurus's horns. The round constellation is Auriga.
I'm straight up having to... Shit.
Auriga drives a chariot. It is said that a man named Erichthonius was a brave warrior who went into battle on a chariot. But for some reason, there are many pictures of the constellation where he is shown holding a small goat. I wonder what his true form is. There is a famous constellation next to Auriga. They are perhaps the most famous twins.
Yep.
That's right. It's Gemini. Their names are Castor and Pollux. Despite being twins, Castor was born a human and Pollux is a god. They were great friends until one day Castor was gravely injured and died. Zeus took pity on them for no longer being together, so he made them both half human and half divine.
And
they became a constellation,
they have to look for each
so they
other's
could
half.
be together forever as these brothers light up the night sky. This is the end of the VR Celestial Tour.
Ooh.
Did you enjoy the amazing stories about the shining stars in the sky?
Yeah, the narration's good,
See
but
you again soon.
it's a very static, like, nothing moves, they just highlight certain things. It's very, I don't know, not as immersive as it could be. They need a movie app. Don't they have any apps for watching movies like this? That'd be really cool. You know, get some real life friends, have a real life friend sit here, watch a film together or a TV show. That'd be pretty cool. Alright, should we do fall? Let's do fall. Let's just get it out the way. Only one left.
In this VR Celestial Tour,
I wish you could use the
will
right
show
analog
you
stick
the
to turn
autumn
your head. I don't feel like
constellations.
moving so much in this game.
The days are cooling.
Next explanation, fall sky man. Ah, there's no options. Alright.
And the nights are filled with the songs of insects.
I gotta move this table.
Fall is one of the
I didn't
best
think I'd be moving
seasons
so
to
much for
relax
this.
with a good book and good food. Don't you agree?
Yeah, fall's nice. I like
The
fall.
stars also
Halloween.
have plenty of stories to entertain you
I'm
with.
surprised in the winter one they didn't
Let's take
cover
a
like
walk
Christmas
out
and the winter
in
solstice
the starry
and all that
sky. Let's start with the Great Square. Where do you think it is? That's right. Here. This is the Great Square. It is
Like,
actually
the position
part
you
of the
gotta get
Pegasus
in to look at
constellation.
this isn't that comfortable.
Pegasus is a mythical winged horse that gallops across the sky. This is where we'll start learning about the fall constellations.
If you like space,
Pegasus
I would honestly
was the
recommend
beloved
getting
horse of
Megatron
Perseus,
Rainfall.
and they enjoyed many adventures together. You have to agree that
Surprised they haven't
flying
done No
upside
Man's
down in the
Sky in
sky
VR.
with carefree abandon is really spectacular. Next to Pegasus is Aquarius. Aquarius is the constellation of the young man called Ganymede holding a large jar and pouring water from it. This beautiful young man caught the eye of Zeus, who brought him to the world of the gods to serve as a cupbearer. His parents missed Ganymede very much once he was gone to the land of the gods, so Zeus made him into a constellation so they could see him in the sky from the earth. I guess that the boy was just too beautiful for Zeus to let go. Ganymede became an official cupbearer. It's not actually water he is pouring from his jug, but alcohol. Ganymede is pouring this alcohol on the constellation of Piscis Austrinus. The bright star of its mouth is known as Fomalhaut. Fomalhaut means the fish's mouth. I guess it must be drinking all that alcohol intended for the gods. Fomalhaut is the brightest star of the fall constellations. It's easy to find because it's so bright. Give it a go. Can you see it?
Well, it's not full
Now,
right now, but...
there is a large V-shaped constellation nearby.
Vagina?
Which
Ovaries.
constellation do you think this is? It's Pisces.
Yeah, Pisces. That's what I am.
Why do you think it is in the shape of two fish joined by a ribbon?
I don't know, but
The
that
two
is
fish
the horoscope
are in
for
fact
it.
the beautiful goddess Venus and her young child, Cupid.
It looks like a vagina,
It
and
is
the
said
things on the
that
end
the
look like
two were
ovaries.
attacked by a monster and changed into fish.
I would see
to
a vagina
escape.
with ovaries before I saw
They
two
tied
fish.
themselves together with ribbon so they wouldn't be separated. Zeus was moved by this touching story of a mother and child and commemorated the two of them in the constellation of Pisces.
Hey.
And at that time, Pan was also there, and here he is as Capricorn.
The constellations
Pan
have
was so
actually
scared by
shifted
the monster
from what people
that he
believe.
tried
Pisces
to
isn't
escape
actually
by turning
when we
his
think it
legs
is,
into a
and
fish
as
tail
is all
and
the
swimming
other,
away.
horoscopes.
Zeus found the tail so curious that he turned Pan into a constellation.
I gotta adjust my headset.
That's why the legs of Capricorn are in the shape of a fish's tail. Pan's reason for becoming a constellation isn't a heroic story, but it is a popular one. Now, let's introduce Aries, who is
God of
relaxing
War.
as he watches the panicked Capricorn. Here he is. Aries
Where?
was a flying golden ram that was sent by Zeus. The ram rescued a young prince and his twin sister from a murder plot and got them to safety.
But Aries was
Later,
the god of war.
the ram returned and was made into a constellation. The golden fleece of the lamb was kept as a treasure. Maybe it still exists somewhere in this world.
I thought Aries was the
There is
god of
another
war.
famous constellation near Aries. Do you know which it is?
I'm not
Yes,
sure.
it's Andromeda.
Oh,
It might be easier to work out which direction the Andromeda galaxy is. The
also
Andromeda
starring Kevin
galaxy
Sorbo.
is located here. Can you see it?
Dramina was a
According
TV
to
show
the
also starring
myths,
him.
Andromeda was a beautiful and graceful woman. The story about Andromeda takes place under an autumn night sky. Andromeda's father was King
Jesus Christ.
Cepheus. This is his constellation.
Holy hell, my neck is getting...
Her mother was Cassiopeia. This W shape is the famous Cassiopeia constellation. One day, she said something very prideful.
Okay, I
She
gotta stand up
said
again.
that none of the sea nymphs could compare in beauty to her Andromeda. The sea god Poseidon heard this and was enraged. He
God,
sent
they're
a giant
temperamental, aren't
sea
they?
monster to drown their kingdom in a giant flood. The king knew that in order to quell the rage of Poseidon, he had to sacrifice Andromeda to the sea monster. King Cepheus had no choice if he wanted to keep his kingdom safe, so he tied his sobbing Andromeda to a rock on the coast. Poor Andromeda was left trembling alone as the great waves threatened to consume her. Then the sea monster appeared. It looked for sure that Andromeda would die. However, just then the brave Perseus appeared on his fantastical horse Pegasus. Perseus was on his way home from defeating the witch Medusa when he saw the sea monster coming for Andromeda. It was perfect timing. He used the severed head of Medusa to launch an
we know
attack
that
on the
story.
sea
If you
monster.
play God of War, you probably know that
The
one.
sea monster was turned to stone by the power of Medusa's severed head. Perseus defeated the sea monster
Most people
and
know about
rescued
Medusa.
Andromeda. He brought her back to her father, King Cepheus, and asked for her hand in marriage. Andromeda and Perseus were married and lived happily ever after.
Well, at least someone
This
got a good
story
ending.
of a princess being saved by a hero and living happily ever after ends our fall tour. How was it?
Pretty good.
Why don't you take a break one of these nights and look up at the stars?
Well,
See you soon.
you can't really do that if you live in the city and fucking lights everywhere. A lot of, what is it called? It's a certain name for it, like light pollution, I think they call it. Mount Fuji. Sure. Let's go back. See one of the unlocked things, and then I'll wrap it up. Then I'm gonna go up to the store real quick, and I'll be back with werewolves. Within Mount Fuji, National Park, Utah, Salt Lake. Oh wait, Uni Salt Lake, but it is in Utah. I'm used to saying Utah Salt Lake. See, when you go to these environments, they look very low res, like you can't even really tell where you are. And it's so dark, you can't really make out, like, this is Mount Fuji? Is this like the top of it? I guess this is just a snowy patch on top. And I guess the idea is you just try spot console. There should be a thing where you can, like, you circle things, and the goal is to try to, like, catch all the constellations, pretty much. Like, they hide 20 constellations, real ones, and the goal would be to, you know, highlight them in some fashion. That'd be the thing to do. Let's see what display things we got. Ah, that's not... Damn, you'd think that stuff would be on by default. Sure. Huh. I don't... Could have sworn all this was already on by default. Strange. Huh. There we go, that's nice. What time of year is this supposed to... I don't think we covered that one. Camilla Pardalis. That's a mouthful. Crater. Okay. Saturn. Saturn's that way, then I don't think Mars and the planets on the opposite would be visible. Speed setting, what's this about? Ah, I get it now. Damn, it don't feel like the sky's moving as much as it feels like the planet's moving. Like, it feels like I'm slowly falling to my right. It feels like any second I'm gonna go flying into my wall. Somehow. It's still kind of cool. Okay, you might not want to turn this on if you got a little motion sickness problems, but I don't. It's fine for me. But damn. When you slow it down, it looks like the sky's moving, but when you speed it up, it feels like the Earth is moving. It is the Earth that's truly moving, but it doesn't feel like that. Alrighty, let's go back. Oh, menu. Let's try that. Oh, back. Back. Not sure what really the difference is between doing that and doing that. Press that button. So, it says I can set positions without... Africa. Yeah, see, this is just a black spot. Like, this could be anywhere. They could say that this is fucking London. They could say that this is, you know, anything, really. I guess it's the constellation. I wonder how accurate it is. Is this really what you would see if you were at this point in Earth? And what time of year? It says it said time travel underneath it, so that implies I can change, like, when this is happening. What is that? The fuck is that? Is that the moon? That's one thing I haven't seen, the moon. Damn, all these cables on me. Centaurus. Is there, let's see what kind of options we got for this. Ah, here we go. Sure. Flesh. Ah, cool. Oh, that's much better. I can see everything now. Now, where was it? Oh, it is the moon. I thought it was, but I looked for it a while ago. Moon would be more visible, wouldn't it? If you can see the stars as well and all these constellations, you should definitely see a moon. It looks like, whatchamacallit, quarter, not even quarter moon. I can't remember what it's called when there's like only a sliver of moon out. Aria Lupus. Well, I guess it's about the price, you know. It's I think it's $10.99. This thing is. I'd say it's right at the. I don't know. It could be a bit more immersive. I would have rather paid more money for something with a little bit more, I don't know, interaction or a bit more visceral experience, because it's very stationary. Very nothing moves. They expect you to move. I mean, if you ever been to a planetarium, you kind of expect it just to chill out and watch it. Yeah, they could have done that a bit better. If you try to play this sitting, you'll find yourself in some awkward positions trying to look at everything. And I hate looking straight up in VR because, like, the headset always wants to slide upward on my head, and my headphones try to slide off too. It's a bit annoying. Antarctica I went to. It was nice. Yeah, they could have put a little bit more effort into it, but I guess it's... If you really like space, this is kind of nice, I suppose. But, I don't know. Everything looks... It'd be nice if I could, like, zoom in and, like, hey, get, like, a close-up look of that star or a closer-up look at the moon. That would be nice. And that's the thing, Megatron Rainfall lets you do that. It's only $16. Plus, it has a superhero game with it, where you can play as kind of like a Superman. Definitely something of a buried gem on PSVR. So that's all we got. 4 of those. They are a bit underwhelming. So what settings we got? Ah, scene from Japan. Alright. Yeah, this... What the hell's that? Uh-huh. Well, this is a good effort, but he should... I don't know. More immersive. More, less of you moving and more of the planetarium moving would be helpful. Like, I expect that, like, when you went to Antarctica, you might see the, you know, the Arctic lights. That would have been nice. Because you really can't tell that you're at a specific place from another. They all look kind of samey. The ground's incredibly low res. But oh well. That's, I guess my impression of Homestar VR, Home Planetarium. Sega Toys. That's a bit bizarre. It's like, it's not just plain Sega, it's like a subsidiary Sega Toys. But I guess maybe this isn't seen so much as a video game as it is like a educational experience thing. Maybe that's the point of it, to distance itself from video game. Oh well, I'm not sure. Alright, I'll be back in a little while with werewolves. Later, everyone. And I got an invite. People are already bugging me to join. Alright. Laters.